With so many videos about fighters, it's time to pay tribute to the man who keeps the entire UFC company on his back. Whatever your thoughts about him, President Dana White deserves all the respect for everything he has made possible. If you support our work and love what we do, hit the subscribe and like button. And if you love Dana White, stay until the end, and you will love him even more. At number 10, he's not a man to be trifled with. With all the years of work, it's a miracle that he's still sane. He's always the last man standing when it comes to business, all thanks to his hustle mentality and thick skin. The work he does is ruthless and requires his attention 24/7.
I know how hard this is. Believe me. I told you, you guys, most of you have known me for a very long time. Whether you like me, you hate me, you don't agree with me, you agree with me. When I come out and tell you something's the hardest thing that I've ever done, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
White is a strong character who will turn the country around to make things possible and give us what we want to see. However, he's not a man you can play with. Dana says what Dana means, and he doesn't give a duck.
Finally, last one. I'm a good friend of yours, Oscar De La Hoya, has announced he's coming out of retirement to box again. I just wondered if you had any...
Cocaine isn't cheap. It's expensive. Gotta make money.
For all the working hours he invested, he loves his money, and if you're in a situation where you owe him, you better pay him back immediately. And if you want to sue him, it's a bad idea that might come and bite you back.
I don't even want to mention this guy's fucking name, but it's like Ken Shamrock burst back onto the scene. Hey everybody, I'm here to save everybody, whatever. No, you're trying to become relevant again, is what you're trying to do. Let's not forget that Ken Shamrock tried to sue us.
And he will go after everyone who deserves it, regardless if it's a referee, journalist, fighter, or anyone else under the blue sky.
Also this week, Colby Covington made some headlines. He said when he beats Kamaru Usman, he says no way he's letting you wrap the belt around him. If you do, he's going to smack you in the head with it. What's your comments on that?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. He's a big mouth fucking idiot. I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting, and I never want to see him reffing ever again.
Does anybody here disagree with me that Mazzagatti is a fucking toolbox?
Yeah. What's the question? Guys, come on. These two aren't even fighting. Knock it off. All right. Okay. Do you have a question about the fight, who these guys are fighting, or you just want to start shit in here?
At number 9, he hates questions about fighters' pay.
You know what you guys know about this sport? About this, I shouldn't say the sport. You know what you guys know about this business? What I fucking tell you. That's what you know.
If anything infuriates him more, it's questions about how much he pays his fighters. Dana is a famous strutterer when the topic of fighter pay comes around. It's no secret he doesn't like other people's noses in his fat UFC wallet.
There has been a lot of talk on fighter pay lately, right? And the number that gets thrown out is 16 to 18% of revenue around there. I guess, can you talk about...
Is that right?
Is that accurate?
None of your business. It's none of your business how much it is. If you don't like how we run our business, go start your own.
The UFC's historical payment is about 20% of the company's revenue, and while he is in power, there's no chance that this will change. Still, people love to ask him about these things. It's not clear whether they want to fight for higher wages or just want to drive him nuts.
And at the end of the day, my philosophy is always this. It's nobody's fucking business what these fighters are making.
So if you are an up-and-coming fighter who trains hard and wants to sacrifice health, family, and social life for an MMA career, the big boss has one piece of advice for you.
Everybody acts like this is a fucking career. This isn't a career. This is not a career. This is an opportunity. Anything can happen at any given moment.
At number 8, he absolutely hates bad fights. Another thing that drives Dana White crazy is bad fights, and whenever he's pissed off, we love him even more. His infuriated pink head and ironic laughter are priceless. The president doesn't care if you're the greatest fighter of all time. Poor performance is a big no-no. He doesn't make a big event so that the fighters act like jackasses, especially in the main event. Anderson Silva, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, Francis Ngannou, and Yoel Romero have a special place in Dana's heart. The place is called I Don't Want This to Ever Happen Again. Fans can sympathize with him because no one likes boring fights. We wait for months to see the epic title clash, only to be disappointed in the end. But luckily, Dana White is always there to lift our spirits with his legendary comments and disgust.
I'd rather have somebody say, let's not buy the Anderson Silva fight tonight because he knocks people out in 2 minutes.
other than he runs around like a jackass for 5 rounds, you know?
About watching what fight?
The Woodley fight and beating Wyatt.
What did you think about watching the Woodley fight? Listen, when you break a record for the least punches ever thrown in a 5-round fight in a title fight, I mean, I think that sums it up.
Number 7, he loves hardworking fighters. The hardworking man that he is, he likes hardworking fighters who will do their part. In addition to his honest criticism, he never hesitates to praise employees who bring the show. We always love to hear his sincere words of praise for a fighter who behaved like a warrior. If a fighter helps sell the fight, he can bet he has President White watching his back. We have seen many examples. A special type of fighter he likes are those who accept fights without much questioning. If you are a fighter with the mentality, anyone, anytime, anywhere, you will be on good terms with Dana. You can't hate on a man for loving people who bring numbers to the company's bank accounts. A fighter's job is to prepare, show up, and make fireworks. And if you help him make money, you can be sure that his money will come to you. Number 6, he is loyal to his people. And that is one of his great qualities. Whoever treated him well, Dana White made sure the whole world knew about it. And besides, he would reciprocate double. We can see in many examples that he is a ride-or-die kind of guy, and Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, and Theo Vaughn know that firsthand.
This brand was so bad that venues didn't even want us. So we had a hard time finding venues. And Trump literally called us. Now remember this, think about this, where the Trump brand was. Here, UFC brand was down here. Come to my place, you know, do the event here, we'll have you at the Trump Taj Mahal, blah, 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 blah. We get there, greatest setup for us, he did this whole thing for us, showed up to the first fight and was there till the last fight. So then he calls me and says, I'm running for president. Now listen, if you don't want to do this, I completely understand. Everybody told me not to do it. Everybody. And I'm like, this guy, all the things that he's done for me, I'm gonna tell him no. Yeah, no, that's not me.
Yeah. It's like going through COVID. I wasn't laying any of these people. Some of these people have been with me for 20 years. We're gonna lay them off? Mm-mm. This motherfucker will burn. Burn. It's just never, none of that type of stuff is ever going to happen while I'm here. Joe Rogan has been very loyal to me, and I am very loyal to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, because we had Robert Kennedy Jr. on, and we had a company call, or a couple companies call after that and say, yeah, just stuff about him. We're not advertising on this episode. My advertiser's like, you guys need to take the episode down, you know? Blast
Imagine
them.
that fucking dork.
Yeah.
Fucking picking up the phone, calling you and telling you that you can't have Robert Kennedy. Telling you that you can't fucking have him on your show. Who the fuck are you, Barry McCarthy?
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting you. You can film us.
Yeah.
My guys are going to take the Pelotons out of the gym today.
All of that, dude. Yeah.
We're getting rid of them. We're going to go throw them in the fucking garbage today.
I'll be happy to toss him in.
Number 5, ruthless to competition. You heard it, people. If you are a crew member on Captain Dana's ship and it starts to sink, you will all drown together, with Dana included. You're either with him or against him. Dana is kind to his people, but ruthless towards the competition. There can only be one at the top of this business, and White will do his best to keep the UFC in that spot.
And what do you make of the PFL buying Bellator? PFL is now saying that, you know, they're the co-leader. They believe that the roster is comparable to the UFC's. So what do you...
One shitty organization that sells no tickets and nobody watches buys another shitty organization that sells no tickets and nobody watches. Sounds like a fucking winner to me, boy. Right? Woo!
Number 4, he will admit when he is wrong. This is another one of the qualities of great men that Dana White shows from time to time. In most cases, White stands behind what he says and doesn't care how others will comment on it. He is a powerful man, and you know how it is with such people. It wouldn't look good if he often contradicted himself. Of course, he will be happy to avoid any emphasis that he was wrong. Dana will wrap his words so that it sounds like he was right, but in the last resort, he will not shy away from saying, yes, I messed up. Perhaps we like this quality in him precisely because we rarely see it. Although people like to stick to his stubborn character, it was not difficult to find a few examples that would confirm our claims.
You're one of the first people I thought of when that fight was put together, because I could just imagine how, if you were a fly on the wall. What are your thoughts on that bout?
Ken is way past his prime. It gets to the point where it's dangerous for that guy to still be fighting. That being said, he still might beat Kimbo. Kimbo sucked.
I know for a fact this next guy that's coming is definitely a fighter. Question is he a mixed martial artist? Talk more about this guy than anybody ever. And coming from me, that's saying a lot.
Being on the show itself, it's an honor. You know what I'm saying? Considering all that Dana White was saying about me.
We already mentioned earlier that the UFC has a tendency to push fighters into the fire before their time. And only one of them was Darren Till, with whom we all know what happened. Although it was late, the president pointed out his mistake.
After the win over Cowboy, we might have pushed him a little too soon.
He also said women will never be part of the UFC before catapulting Ronda Rousey into the stars.
When are we going to see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
Since I made this fight, some of these guys still live in the 1920s. The way that they talk about women, these women deserve to be here. They're great athletes.
Number 3, he does not refrain from helping others. When asked why he helped Joe Pyfer, Dana said he does a lot of things for people he doesn't talk about. Helping someone without wanting attention is the right kind of help. However, he cannot keep everything a secret because some things, over time, come to the surface. The president is a ruthless businessman, but he has shown many times that he has a big heart. Dana White is as good as he is bad, but he is a much better man than people give him credit for. Countless times he could have said, "It's not my problem," to people who asked him for help. But when your boss cares about your living situation, you know how much you are valued in the company.
Joe Pyfer, when I left the press conference that night, he told me that he was about to be homeless. So, that ain't gonna happen.
Do you remember how people lost their jobs en masse during the pandemic? Well, that was not the case in his company. At UFC 300, after his flawless victory, Diego Lopez jumped over the fence and went to Dana White. Because of this move, his $5,000 purse has been withheld from his $100,000 payout by the Nevada Athletic Commission. Yes, you heard that right. Despite asking Dana if he could approach him and then peacefully returning to the cage, Lopez was still fined. But guess who offered to pay the penalty? Yes, it was Uncle Dana. And another wonderful thing he did was increase the bonus for UFC 300. This was a special event with more financial cost than profit, but he still managed to make his fighters happy.
Said for this special event, they would love to see the bonuses raised from $50,000. Can we do something special for this Saturday?
What did you say?
Both guys want bonuses raised from $50K for this special card. Can we make this happen?
What should it be raised to?
3 times.
100,000.
300. Go 3 times. 300.
300.
300.
300. It's done.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Number 2, he has a $1 billion laugh. One thing we all love for sure is seeing him enjoy his work. His funny interactions with the fighters are priceless. When Dana laughs, it means that something is really worth laughing about.
Those of you that can't see, this is the World Championship title of which I took from Anderson Silva. And if he wants it back, he knows where to find me.
Yeah, I think you can get them on eBay for about $29.99.
That's what I was just checking. He was staring at some penis when you looked at his mind wasn't in the conversation. I see it at the V, like right down. I just see you say that.
Hey, Dana. So
do you need me to translate for you, Mike?
A rematch, okay, and TJ sits out on the sidelines, okay? Does he get the title fight that he wanted for so long, bro?
Either that or he's smiling at the gigantic earnings that will land on his account. The size of his laugh is proportional to the thickness of his wallet. Number 1, he's an awesome savage. You can hate all you want, but the only reason we have a top fighting organization is because the right man is in charge. Dana White dominates the competition and has the power like no other to make fighting stars and bring us supreme violence several times a year. Dana balances perfectly between good and bad. No other CEO has the guts to talk the way he does. Let's not forget, White turned a dying company into a giant. He worked his tail off to get MMA sanctioned in an age when people looked at the sport as savagery. Years later, he exposed it worldwide. At the end of the day, when everything is over, we will miss him when he leaves and refer to him as the GOAT promoter. Let's not put ourselves in a situation where we appreciate it only when it's gone. And let's enjoy what we have.